All right, legends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Season 16 and focusing in on ranked for Apex Legends. So let's get right into it. So first and foremost, I do have to put a disclaimer out there that I didn't really play a whole lot in Season 15, and I didn't play a whole lot in Season 14 either. Most of the time I spent playing Apex was in a pub situation and not really playing ranked. And then the second piece to that, if you remember from my previous videos, I have just recently transitioned from PlayStation 4 to PC, and that happened in Season 14. So this is really the first season I've taken seriously from a ranked perspective. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page. But I will say that Apex has made some really great changes that I think has impacted me as a player and my experience, and I think the experience of the teammates that I've been playing with. And if you haven't been playing Apex for a couple of seasons, I would highly suggest you give it a shot, and here's the reasons why. First thing, map rotations. I don't know why we weren't doing this for the previous 15 seasons, but I will say since Season 16 came in, I do love the fact that we're doing map rotations. Now, do keep in mind it's only 3 maps. It's Stormpoint, Broken Moon, and World's Edge. So we don't have KC in there, and we don't have Olympus in there. I don't know if Olympus is not in there because of whatever the glitch was the previous season, but it is nice to see that this is being mixed up a little bit, and we're not playing the same map over and over again for essentially an entire split. I will say that this gives a lot of variety, not only to the player base themselves, but it gives a lot of variety to how each map and how each strategy is being played out throughout ranked. And I think that this is a really great flavor. I think that for me, this is pretty huge, and I think that this is a big win for Apex. So I appreciate Apex for throwing this in there. I hope to see that map rotations will continue in the future and in future seasons and future splits. I would like to see KC. Yeah, I can't believe I just said that. Obviously, King's Canyon is not my favorite for ranked, but if I'm only playing it 4 or 5 times during a split, I think that that's huge, and I would love to see Olympus in there as well. So we'll look for that in future seasons. Second thing is the nerfs and buffs. So I've got an entire video on all the nerfs and all the buffs, and that video did pretty well. So I highly encourage you to go back and watch that video if you want to see specifics. But for me, I think that this is the first time that nerfs and buffs have actually made an impact to the meta, especially from a Legends perspective. I do not see a lot of Gibby comps. I'm not seeing Seer and Bloodhound really owning each one of the maps when I'm dropping in. Do I see a little bit of it? Absolutely. But right now I'm seeing a lot more fraggers. I'm seeing a lot more skirmishers that are in there. Specifically, Octane seems to be a high pick rate, and I'm starting to see a lot more Pathfinders come out. So that's pretty interesting, and one could argue that Pathfinder's been meta in the past. They have, and then for a while they kind of got nerfed into the ground, and I'm starting to see them come back a little bit. I'm also seeing fewer Valks and fewer Valk alts, so that's pretty interesting right now. So I just feel like there's a wide variety of mixtures that are going on out there that is really helping the game, you know, reinvent itself. So that brings me to my next one, which is the classes. Now, I think there's a couple of different reasons why introducing this to Apex Legends was a huge win for the developers and an even bigger win for the players. So one, any of the new players that are coming over from other games like Call of Duty are really going to understand this structure compared to what it was before. Now, if you played Apex Legends in Season 15 or prior to that, you know that all the legends were basically just put up on a screen, and you'd have to go legend by legend to figure out what they really did. And if you were a newer player to the game, there just wasn't really a good way to understand what each legend did, especially from a super standpoint that, you know, other than playing them, would give you good information. So now we've got them in classes. Again, I've got a video up on each one of the classes, so I'm not going to belabor it in this video, but I will say that this has helped me in a couple of different ways. One, for the new player base, like I discussed. Two, when I'm solo queuing, which I do quite a bit, I know what type of team I'm going to play with almost 90% of the time based off of who they are picking. And that also usually gives me an idea if I'm picking second or third of who I need to choose. And this has helped my solo queue experience. And I think that that goes a long ways because I, in turn, can decide to pick maybe Loba. So that way, if I think that I've got 2 fraggers on my team, if they run in, something happens to them, I know I can run away, I can craft their banners, and this has helped me quite a bit in my solo queue experience. Craft them and then essentially bring them back rather than having to fight my way to pull out 2 banners that folks that might be running in. Now, if you're a solo queuer, you know what I'm talking about, especially on World's Edge. You get people that watched ALGS last weekend and they decide that they're going to drop on East Frag with 5 other teams. Something happens. We don't win that 20% fight because it's not a 50-50 at that point anymore. And you really just got to get out of there and you need to revive your teammates so you can essentially go positive in your RP. Unfortunately, this is part of the game. It happens quite a bit. I get a lot of teammates that think that they are Imperial Hal or Sweet Dreams and will run in and usually get upset once they get taken out fairly quickly. This class really helps me determine, is that going to be the case? Who do I need to play at that point? Who can I play that's going to best support the team and gives me an opportunity to extend games? Now, if I find that I've got more support players, then I usually can go in as Assault, and then I can become that player that's running in a little bit harder. So I play based off of the teammates that I have, and that has been helping me out. As you'll see that I've made it to Platinum so far, and I am on the road to Masters this season. Okay. Matchmaking. This has been pretty huge for me. I haven't been playing as many pubs, obviously, as I've been playing ranked, but I will say that in ranked, the matchmaking seems to be fine. I don't seem to be going up against a lot of Masters and Predators like I have been in the past. And then some of the pubs that I have been playing, I do see a lot of Masters players in there, but I haven't been seeing as many active Predators. If you've seen some of my previous videos, that's basically all we were dying to in pubs. So I do feel like they've made a improvement on the ranking systems. And then while I'm in certain ranks, I'm not seeing a lot of variety of or skips in the ranks. So I'm not playing, when I was in gold, I wasn't playing a lot of silver players and I wasn't playing master players. I was typically playing gold players and I was playing some platinum players and some silver players. But for the most part, I was playing gold players, which put me in the lobbies that I should have been in. So again, I think that's a big win. Now, the last thing I will say that's been very enjoyable, and this is not because of the developers or Respawn or the game itself, it's because of the users. I will say that this season has been the first season that I've been solo queuing that 80% of my teammates have a microphone. And that doesn't always mean that it's both players that land on my team, but 1 out of the 2 will end up using their microphone, and I think that this is making it a much more enjoyable experience. Again, I don't know if that's because of the way that they've changed the game for this season and that's made people a little bit more social. I doubt that, but I will say it's a much more enjoyable experience for me, and this has helped me get to Platinum so far on my journey this season, and that was coming up from Silver 2. So on that note, I'm going to leave you with this, folks. I think overall this has been a great season. I'm having a lot more fun with this season. I think this has been the most fun since season 13, and I am looking forward to having a lot more fun. I'm on the road to Masters, and that's the target that I'm going to set for this season. It'll be the first time that I hit Diamond or Masters on PC. So on that note, if you've got a microphone and you're dropping in, you see me in a game, definitely turn that microphone on. Let's focus on the dub, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week. That's Soul Betty, over and out.